Hello, this is Alex from the National Weather Service in Pocatello with your Southeast Idaho weather hazard briefing for Saturday, July 27th. The main impacts over the next few days include shower and thunderstorm potential for today into this evening across much of Southeast Idaho. However, the higher terrain areas will have the best chance of seeing this activity. There is a threat for perhaps some gusty outflow winds and some heavy rain. The best chance for the heavy rain will be near the Utah border. We'll give you an idea of what that may look like on a forecast radar here coming up. Dry conditions and warming conditions move back in for Sunday. Monday is expected to be hot, but we do have an isolated thunderstorm with gusty outflow wind threat across much of Southeast Idaho. And simply hot Tuesday and into Wednesday. Looks like a return to more widespread shower and thunderstorm activity, potentially in the Thursday to Friday time frame at this point. And in terms of forecast confidence, it's medium to high. Looking at the breakdown geographically, it looks like the best chance for thunderstorms, again, in the high terrain areas, but we can't rule out thunderstorm activity and shower activity in lower elevation areas either. So all areas are included in that threat for today. For Monday, I'm including the higher terrain areas here because those areas once again see the best chance. But once again, we can't rule out some shower and thunderstorm and gusty wind potential for lower terrain areas on Monday either. Taking a look at the satellite currently, point your attention to the whites and the blues here, indicating the higher moisture and cloud cover that's moving across the region right now. And we see the center of circulation right there just south of the Great Salt Lake. That'll be moving north and east through Southeast Idaho today and off into Montana and Wyoming tonight, and that will bring in all of this dry air that you see west of Idaho and southwest of Idaho. There's a big expanse of dry air, and that'll be moving overhead for Sunday. Let's take a look at the forecast radar for this morning. It's doing a pretty good job of depicting the activity. It's a bit overdone here across the upper Snake Plain, but doing a good job with the activity over Utah. You notice some of the oranges and reds. That's indicating some of those heavier showers and thunderstorms, and those could be moving into the Bear Lake area potentially as we go through the morning. And as we go through the afternoon, notice some development out over the Central Mountains. And those gradually move south and east, maybe into parts of the Arco Desert by the late afternoon, early evening hours, and maybe some additional activity, say from Driggs north to Yellowstone this evening. But by the time we get to sunset or just after, we expect the dry conditions to build back into the area. Looking ahead though to Monday, let's see what that might look like in terms of the forecast radar here. You can see over the southeast corner Monday morning in the greens, and then across the Central Mountains by afternoon, and perhaps even get impacting the Pocatello area, but we'll see. Again, the higher terrain areas will see the best chance for shower thunderstorm activity, but we can't rule it out for lower elevation areas either, like we mentioned earlier. Minimum relative humidity values will be above those critical minimums for today, except for maybe in the Chalice or Pershimaway Valley area. But notice the drier air that we alluded to, that'll be moving in for Sunday, with many areas seeing the minimum relative humidity values getting below 15%. Same story for Monday, maybe increasing just 1% or 2% with that increase in moisture, but drying back out again for Tuesday. For winds this afternoon, a bit gusty, particularly over the Arco Desert, Shoshone Richfield area, with some westerly winds maybe in the 30-mile-per-hour range. Similar wind for tomorrow. Monday we do pump up the winds a few miles per hour. So if you remember back to the minimum relative humidity graphic, we do have perhaps some critical minimum relative humidity and critical wind gusts out over the Arco Desert. Southwest to west winds gusting maybe in the 30 to 35 mile per hour range out over the Arco Desert Monday afternoon and early evening. Still breezy again Tuesday afternoon and evening, but the winds do come down a couple of miles per hour from where they were forecast to be on Monday. Speaking of Monday, this is when we'll start to really build in that heat again. See in the yellows and especially the oranges, indicating high temperatures into the 90s for Monday. Again for Tuesday, and we expect similar highs for Wednesday, Thursday, perhaps cooling off a couple of degrees on Friday with an increase in moisture. Again, to recap, we do have the shower threat with an isolated thunderstorm chance, particularly over the higher terrain areas today. Again on Monday, and heat building into the area Tuesday and into Wednesday. And again, there is that potential for some critical minimum relative humidity value and winds out of the Arco Desert Monday as well. That'll conclude the briefing for today. If you have any comments, questions, or feedback, we welcome those to the phone number or email address you see there. Thank you.